Hello, my name is Starlight. Welcome to my YouTube channel, and I'm reaching out to all of you beautiful souls out there. I hope you're able to get out in nature like Starlight was earlier. And depending on where you are, I don't know what your weather is like where you are, but today is, in this area, it's a great day to fly a kite. Do you have a kite? Starlight knows how to fly a kite. And anyway, if you are new to my YouTube channel, welcome, and you can find me on YouTube, and that is at Starlight, and that is Kathy with a K, Dingman. Plus, you could give this video a thumbs up, and you could subscribe to my YouTube channel, and don't be afraid, don't be shy, swing by and say hi to Starlight. And hello out there, somebody said hi to me this morning. So anyway, thank you for reaching out and saying hi, and you can leave me a message down below, beep, beep, beep. Plus, you can check out my playlist, and don't forget the notification bell. That way you do not miss any videos. Plus, you can also share these videos with your family, your friends. Let's see, a laughing hyena and a tiger. Plus, you can follow me on Instagram at 1995 Starlight, or on Facebook, and that is Kathy with a K, Dingman Starlight. So anyway, this video that I'm making today, the reason why is I thought this way, not like some of you might, because there's different layers and levels to this shit. So, like the way this society is, you don't want to follow the crowd. Like I made videos on that before. You want to go the straight and narrow path. You don't want to follow what everybody else is doing. And it's like Hollywood stars, that's where everybody's got to follow the stars and keep up, and find out, hey, what juicy information can I get from the stars? But, like my mentor has taught me, is that you can learn lessons with the Hollywood stars, just like you can learn lessons with anyone, even including myself. So anyway, today, what it is that you don't want to follow the Hollywood stars that are, and now they're not that great, I love people, and I love that they can sing, is that things are not going good for the Hollywood stars, because the truth is coming out in the world, and people are finding out, all this time that they followed them, they're finding out different things in this matrix, in this 3D matrix, that they have, most of them have sold their souls, and you would not believe some of the stuff that they had to do to become those stars that they are today. They gave their soul away. They don't have the freedom, and you might not even have the freedom, if you are selling yourself short out in the world and selling yourself out to this society by not being yourself, by having other people control your life, and, like your boss. Yeah, you got a boss, but guess what? When you work with your boss, if you don't like what your boss says, you could get another job. And what I mean is, like, if a COVID or, another virus came, and your boss said, hey, and this is why you got to be mindful if you're going to go get a job, ask these questions. Are you going to make me wear a mask? Are you going to make me go get an injection? Now, they might say something there and then, and that could change down the road, but those should be questions that you ask when you're going out and getting a job. Now, if you don't care if you're going to go get, but that's the whole thing. Fear. People use the fear to control people, to get them to run out and to get those injections. But I'm getting off track a little bit, but that is not really what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is how fast-paced everything is going. And it is amazing, and I know you've seen this just like I have. Where I came from, the town that I grew up in, if there, this is how I look at life, like it's just a line, and you got like stuff way back there in the past, where, say like the Amish people, they're way back there, they don't have technology, And then there's other areas, they might have a little bit of this and a little bit of that. Like the Mennonites will go to Amish, way back there. People, that don't have electricity. They don't drive cars. They don't have a phone. They don't have, a car. They actually will. It's kind of funny. I'm like, okay, that doesn't really make sense. They will pay somebody to get in a car, but they don't want to, like drive a car, themselves. But then Mennonites, they will have electricity and they will drive cars. And then where I came from, and there's a town like 15 minutes away from where I grew up. Oh my, that's where all the horse and buggies go. The Amish people go and they bring their goods there, and they sell their stuff out there, and they have jobs out in the community to help people build things, whatever you want built, or you want chairs, they could build chairs. They even might buy your trees like they did on my dad's land a long time ago. And so they are of service out in the community in those areas and different areas around the United States and who knows where else. But in like 15 minutes away from where I lived, they were going into a library. When it came to the technology, they are so back there in the past somewhere. They're really not up to date with all the technology stuff. And I've traveled all around, like from New York all the way to Miami, Florida, back up through to Kansas, to Colorado, to here. And I have gone in some places. I was like, there's a library that I found somewhere, and I was in shock. I mean, like probably about 15 minutes away again, it was like, too much. I was like overtaken by the energy, because where I came from, where I used to live long time ago before I moved to Albany, New York, is, that was, the speed limit was what, 35? That's it. The whole area, you didn't really have to worry about it. But car accidents did happen in those areas. But, mainly in, who knows what reasons. But so that was where Starlight spent most of her life after her family, where she's always kind of kept on. That was home to her, was in that one town. But so I ended up going to this one place where it was very Western-like. And so it went from like a really fast-paced atmosphere. Like I went in the store, I had to use the bathroom, and I needed gas. So I went into to use the bathroom, and I was overwhelmed with what they had, what was going on in that place. Lots of people. They had like, I don't even know how many, and I don't even know what state I was in. It was just crazy. They had so many, it was a huge gas station outside, but a whole bunch of gas pumps. I mean, it just filled up the whole space. So because they get a lot of traffic, and inside they had a lot of stuff in there, for people that are traveling to come in and buy, even I think they even had a spot where you can gamble. They had a UFO in there in this building, I was like, oh my, there's a UFO in here. But I was overwhelmed, with all the people and how they were dressed, and, really fast paced. Everything was, and the lines were really huge in there. 15 minutes away, I'm like looking for, on my GPS, looking for a library, and my GPS is taking me, and I'm like, what the heck? I'm like, I was just so amazed. I went from like a really fast paced place, with all this stuff that it's junk that they were selling it just to get your money, where people would go out and buy all this stuff in there and have your children, and the kids are going to want anything and everything. And then 15 minutes away, there's a library. So my GPS is telling me where to go, and I felt like I was in the middle of nowhere. And I felt like I was in a Western, like when I grew up, you know, watching a lot of Westerns. I grew up watching a lot of Westerns. I'm like, I was overwhelmed. I was drained because I couldn't handle the, you know, the fast pace to, it's just like, there was like no middle. And gas stations in that area, you know, the prices were really high in that place, of course, you know, everybody's coming there. So they had high prices. But really, I think I had to pull off on that exit because, you know, it was really hard finding gas stations because I believe I was traveling from Colorado to Florida. So, you know, there's different areas. You better get your gas at certain times or you're going to be stuck on that road and who knows how long it's going to take for somebody to find you out there. But it's a very fast paced, you know, in a lot of areas, you know, and that's what I'm talking about today. People are quick, 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 rush, 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 you know, instant this, instant that, you know, having apps, you know, now you got to have an app for this and app, you know, I go to McDonald's every day. I don't eat the food, you know, but they, you know, to have your food already ready before you, you know, it's already made, you know, you can just order your stuff on the phone. You know, you could buy, Starlight doesn't know how to do a lot of this stuff with my phone, is scanning stuff, you know, at a store, you know, and getting discounts on stuff like that and all these, you know. So I ended up meeting a man like probably about a month ago and I was helping him out and he was actually paying to help him out. And because it was costing him money, he wanted to get the most that he could, you know, and it was only for an hour and 20 minutes to help him out. An hour and 20 minutes goes like that, really fast. So one of his questions was at that time when I met with him, is that he wanted all these answers, you know, in that short little bit of span, you know, the time frame. And, you know, hey, is there any quick way of making all this happen? And see, and I told him, I said, really, you got to slow down because this is not how God works. So this video is slow and steady wins the race, you know, you got the turtle, and that's what Starlight is, you know, I am the turtle. And then there's a rabbit, you know, like on those cartoons, I grew up with those, you know, as the funny looking cartoon character of the rabbit, you know, on 2 legs, not on 4. And he's like, you know, he's showing off but you know, the turtle was going its own speed. But I'll tell you what, you might be going through some shit right now and you could be frustrated, very frustrated about things, wanting to get all this stuff done and realizing, man, I feel like I'm spinning my wheels. I feel like I'm not getting anywhere. And you got to understand, you don't want to be like that rabbit, you know, you don't want to be like most of the people in this world that I gotta have, you know, it's really not the wisest thing to do is do all those apps because it's gonna change you for who you are. Just like even TikTok videos, you know, they're you know, like less than a minute videos, you know, and people waste a lot of time and hours, you know, or even creating. Now, if you're creating videos on TikTok to inspire people and help people in one way or another, it could be a recipe, it could be something, how to fix something, because I've watched men help me to start my car without jumping cables before. Like, hey, thank you, that was a short video. You know, so there's great stuff like that out there, you know, that will help people out. So, you know, that fast-paced stuff is like, ooh, I gotta do this fast, I gotta do that, you know, and I'll tell you what, this is the whole thing of that is that now you're not focused on anything that really matters, you know. It's like, you know, people that want to always take the shortcuts in life. I seen this not too long ago. There was this big hill where I went walking a hiking trail one day, and I wish I could describe the hill, but I'm going to do it the best that I can. I just got to back up a little bit, wiggle, wiggle. So there's a hill, right? So say, for instance, when the trail, you had to go around, you know, to get to the top like that. Well, there's a lady that she, like I seen her, and what she was doing is she wasn't doing what everybody else was doing. She actually was taking shortcuts to get everywhere, And here, we were both walking on the same trail, and so I'm like huffing and puffing. It's a hot day. I had my water with me, my backpack. She didn't have any of that with her. And so I'm climbing up that hill, and a lot of people before me and after me. But she, here I'm going around like this, and she just was going all the way up. And there's a problem with that because, sorry, Starlight's got you see this, I see this on the road, is that there's people that there's so much, it's going to push them all the time to be less than patient. If you're going to be on this journey like I am, you know what the universe is constantly doing to me from the very beginning of this, and it took some time for me to realize this. The universe, God, has been teaching me patience. So don't worry about how much you're getting done each day. See if you got a lot of stuff like Starlight has. So a lot of times, like if you got this big ass goal, right, is a lot of times, depending on how huge this thing is, to you, it could be simple because you've already been doing it, you know how to do it because you had to start from beginning, you got to start at the foundation of getting to the top of what you want to, like a pyramid. So, there's all these steps that you got to do in order to get to the top of what you want to complete, whatever that goal is. I don't want to tell you what I'm working on because it's a secret. Is that so Starlight has this big, huge goal that I am working on, but I got to start down at the bottom to work my way up and, get all these other things done before I even can get to that, I can't just get right there at the top and yeah. And that's how life is right here, is that, you just can't just get right up to the top. It kind of reminds me of that story in the Bible where they were trying to get to heaven and they were trying to build, and God just yeah. But so in life though, it's gonna, God wants us to learn patience. Right now I'm being patient because there's a desire, my deepest desire, that out of all the things that I really want to manifest in my life, I have this big, huge desire that I want to manifest. But then I have to, God's been taking me through all these steps to get there, lessons that I got to learn, things that I got to let go of, things that I got to be patient. If I am not patient for God to bless me with my deepest desire, then guess what? It might never happen because I'm not even being patient. Just like that little girl on Chocolate in the Factory or whatever, Chocolate Factory. Funny, I love that thing. I watched that a long time ago, but the little girl that, she came from a rich family and she was a little snob as a, little rich girl. And she just was spoiled rotten by her parents. And it was my favorite part in that, because she wanted some candy in the movie, and she just, without anybody giving her the candy, she's like, I want it and I want it now. And so she ended up taking it and she ate it. So that is a funny part in the movie, is what happened, because she wasn't patient. So you gotta be patient. You just like people on the road, people, I see this a lot in the area, and I'm that person. If you're behind me and you're trying to push me in the traffic, have good luck on that. You're not going to force me to go any faster. You know why? Because I know you need to learn lessons, so you might get mad at Starlight. Oh, Starlight, you're one of those people that, no, I won't go slower. I will do the speed that I was doing, so you're not gonna force me to go any faster than what I'm going. So in life, don't think that you're gonna take some kind of shortcut Or, you're gonna, a lot of people have like little tricks up their sleeves, they might actually try to cause something to happen to get that, God sees everything that you're doing. So don't think that, like what you are doing that God's not going to see. And you might think, hey, there's got to be a way, and if you're a dishonest person, you might think of a different way of getting there. Just like on games, there's sometimes people cheat. They cheat on the game and they're like, ha ha ha, look what I did. And, well, they might get away with it for a while, but then somehow or another it doesn't work anyway. So you got to be mindful in this life, especially if you're going on a spiritual journey like Starlight is and a self-discovery. I'll tell you what, slow and steady wins the race. Is that you got these things. It's like taking shortcuts and stuff like that. You're going to miss out on some details that you're like a game. If you what Starlight does not play games at all, but my I believe my son still plays the same game that he played when he was younger. Is like if you had to go into a room and gather and do all these things, there's different rules, and you thought, hey, I'm going to skip all that and I'm just going to go. Well, you're not going to be able to, you're going to go there empty-handed. You're not going to have everything you need to do the other game because you didn't do everything that you were supposed to do. So you can't rush through this journey here. People just want things fixed right away. They don't want to do the work. And the man that I was talking to, he didn't want to be patient. He just wanted all his problems fixed in one day. That's impossible. You have to be patient. This is a part of the process, is to be patient so you can learn, the things that you got to, God is going to teach you patience one way or another, so you might think that, hey, I'm going to get what I want. And it really, this video I also want to say is teach your kids. This is where it all starts. It starts from parents that, when they bring up their children, and, maybe the parents always get what they want when they want it, and get it right away. And then you get a child and, like raising up a child that, you gotta, and it starts from when that baby starts sucking, if the baby is breastfeeding with the mom or not breastfeeding, whatever, however, it starts once that baby comes out of the womb. I'm not kidding. They are super smart. Don't be fooled by little babies. They are super smart. If they had a body like a human, like an adult, they would be really dangerous. They would really, they're really smart. They're studying you out as a baby. They are our teachers. I always tell this to people. I'm like, yeah, they are our teachers. And they look at me like, what are you, fucking nuts? No, they are. My kids taught me a lot of shit about myself. When I see them acting the way I am, and I'm like, that kind of looks familiar. They're not getting their own way and they get upset, or they might have, Starlight never really had like tantrums or anything, but we learn a lot from our kids. So don't be, you got to teach your kids. The lessons that I teach you are you can teach your children. And it, like I said, it starts right when they come out of the womb, because they're gonna, they're after a while when they're little babies, they cry a lot, right? They get hungry, they get wet diapers. Don't pick them up right away when they're crying. Make sure all their things are good, but you don't have to rush right to them. And especially the first time you're having a child, yeah, it's really tough, but you learn a lot with your first child and the things not to do with your second one, hopefully. So with your children is to make them wait. Mom, are we there yet? All these different things, is, by caving in to your children and just handing them whatever they want. Wah, here. Oh, hey, that worked out pretty good. Wah, here. See, you're the one, if you're a parent like that, you're teaching them impatience, because they're learning, hey, I can get what I want. She's actually, you're causing more of a problem than you really realize, because now they're the one, they're really super smart. No kidding. That's why Starlight wanted more kids. Is that, because I'm like, I wanted to strip everything that I knew, what I learned, like, or didn't know when I had my daughter, because she was my first, and just like, a clean slate. We're not going to do any of that. I'm going to learn from all my lessons that I had, from my first, born daughter and my firstborn son, and, get these kids to be different, bring them up a different way, not to copy everybody else what they're doing, but to do everything different from the very time that they're born. When they come out, is to teach them all kinds of great stuff. Teach them about being patient, teach them to wait, teach them all this stuff. There's so many. I ought to make more videos on children, because I learned a lot of stuff with kids. And so anyway, is you gotta teach your kids that, so we don't have more adults just like, I've seen it out in public where people flip right out. They would go somewhere, they didn't get what they wanted, and they had a tantrum. And you look at them, you're like, you're like 30 years old, and you're acting like hello, how do you think that happened? That didn't happen by accident. That happened because the parents gave them everything, and a lot of times it happens because the parents didn't get what they wanted when they were kids. So they're like, here, we're going to spoil you rotten, give you, and then the grandparents could even be a worse nightmare. It's like, hey, we can't have any more kids of our own. So we're going to, because I know parents right now, I know grandparents right now, that's what they're doing. They're spoiling. They can't have any kids of their own. And what are they doing? They're making a big mess out of the child because they can't have any of their own. So it's like, oh, all the things I didn't learn, now I'm just going to spoil you rotten. Well, that's going to catch up, buying them stuff all the time, constantly, is not a good thing. Those things can really ruin that child later on. It's all right to love your children. You don't always have to, or your grandchildren, you don't always have to, every time you see them, hey, I got to buy something. Hey, because that's, they see that. They're not stupid. They're like, hey, every time I go to her house, I get something. So I always want to go to her house because she's always going to buy me something, and then they're not even going to want to be at the parents' house because, they don't always buy me something every time they see me. So anyway, slow, steady wins the race. It's not rushing into stuff, like relationships and all that stuff. Take your time, slow down, just like Starlight did this before, is just like a tractor. You're on the tractor. Starlight used to drive my dad's up the tree. I was like, I was getting a little too close to that tree. I couldn't believe it actually was riding right up the tree. So don't do that with lawnmowers. So I wonder why the lawnmower wasn't working years later. But so when you're, on a riding lawnmower, they got that stick there, and it has like a little picture of a rabbit or a turtle. You don't have to go fast, especially at my dad's yard. You wouldn't want to go rabbit speed because there's all these stumps and bumps and this and that. You want to take it slow, go around that stuff so you don't, have that blade chopping up like roots, and rocks. I'm wondering, I've seen people do that. They force those machines all around. They abuse those machines and then wonder why it costs like how much money to fix that big problem, because of being too much in a rush and trying to get it done, so that is life for you, is that you got to slow down and don't worry that, you're going to get there. Is you just, if you only got a little bit done today, you know what? Tomorrow you can get a little bit done more. I know you got a lot of stuff, like I was saying, like say you got like 5 things that you're working on every day. Each day you're going to get a little bit closer, So don't give up on the things that you're working on. Just sometimes that's all it is just a little bit each day. And that's what I'm learning right now and don't get frustrated, because you're going to get frustrated, but realize, what? It's okay. Because you can't go backwards and the next day you just got to rearrange things maybe a little different or do something different, and figure it out. But you don't want to get upset because you're not getting everything done all at once. And that is teaching you patience. You know, you got to do all these other things every day. So you can't like eliminate those. So today you just got a little, like today, for instance, is today I got a little bit further today. I ended up working on one thing. I'm like, hey, there you go. I perfected that now. That actually looks better. And the next time I got something else that I can work on. Hey, Kate, okay. I'm actually doing all the little stuff. And then after a while, I got to, you know, because I got to always raise the bar up. You know, you can't always keep on doing the same stuff over and over again, like being a YouTuber or other things. You always got to, you know, change things around, switch things, learn different things. So don't beat yourself up because everything is not happening at the speed that you want. It's okay. Just take it one day at a time. Anyway, sorry, I love you. This is Starlight. You can give this video a thumbs up. And you can subscribe to my YouTube channel. Plus, don't forget, you can leave me a message down below. Beep, beep, beep. Don't forget the notification bell. And you can check out my playlist. And you can share my videos with your family, friends. A rabbit and a turtle. And you can also follow me on Instagram at 1995 Starlight or on Facebook, and that is Kathy with a K, Dingman Starlight. So slow down. Stop being in such a rush to get nowhere. You know, you're going to make a mess. When you're going too fast, you're going to miss out on some details that you really needed, and then you're going to end up having to start all over. Believe me, Starlight's been there. Imagine it. You hurried up and speed things, and then you missed all this details that you really needed, and now you think that it's done, but now you're not even happy with the work that you did because you weren't being patient. So anyway, I love you. This is Starlight. Namaste. This is Starlight. Love, light, and peace.